Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hi, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
You bet your ass
We are
Schwarzenegger's the icon.
So fucking ready to go.
You know what, though? I don't know if that anyone was more 90s than Van Damme.
That is a good point.
He
He
might have
kind
been
of
like-
dominated the 90s.
He kind of came on. He had that new swagger. He's
Yeah.
appearing on episodes of Friends.
Very pretty. Yeah. Oh, was he in Friends?
He was at least in an episode or two of Friends.
Wow.
Oddly enough. Yeah, I can't remember what his... I think he might have been playing himself filming a movie. And I don't know if he went out with one of the girls once
Almost
or twice.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
But you know, have you ever seen Jean-Claude Van Damme?
No!
It's
but
so
it was supposed to be good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yes. I highly recommend
okay.
it.
Is
I
that
haven't
still...
seen it in
is that on
years.
Amazon? What was that on?
I think it was on Stars or something.
Okay, I'm going to have to check to see if
but
that's
yeah, check it out. I
around.
don't remember where it's streaming anymore. Very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Really funny.
It was very like self-aware, like
very
meta.
self-aware, and
Okay.
like props to Jean-Claude Van Damme for being so willing to kind of poke fun at himself.
Sure.
Because for years he was just deadly serious about himself.
If there's a knock on these 90s and 80s action guys, is they take themselves way too seriously.
Yeah.
Except for I feel like Schwarzenegger, had a sense of humor about himself.
Yeah, I think he did. And I think that's one of the
He would
reasons
do
why he's so enduring,
Yeah.
because he was willing to do silly things.
He would do shit like Twins,
Yeah.
where you like walk past the Rambo marquee
Yeah.
and would like sort of like, oh, phooey
Yeah.
about, or he, the shit that he was doing in Last Action Hero,
Yeah.
where like Stallone was the star of
Star of
Terminator 2
Terminator
and stuff like
2.
that. He's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
making fun of himself but like dudes like Seagal
Yeah.
and Stallone, and I feel like Van Damme like took themselves very seriously.
Very seriously.
I will not be made to look silly.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know?
doing real things while I make weird yelling noises and kick
Nah.
people. Yeah.
Nah.
No. And so I'm glad that he kind of developed a sense of humor
Okay.
about himself. Highly recommend Jean-Claude Van Damme. I
So-
really, really enjoyed that show.
So tell me some of your like top Van Damme movies. Like, what are some of your favorite Van Damme flicks?
It's silly. It's not one of his best movies,
Bring
but
it.
Double Impact.
Yes.
Where he plays his
Two of himself.
own like twin brother, and they don't
Yeah.
know. And like a line that I still quote to this day is when they first show up together and they're fighting together for the first time, and it's that horrible split screen. You could tell that they're like, it's a composited shot, and it cuts to the bad guy who's got a weird accent, and he goes, "There's two of them." I will never not laugh at that line of dialogue. I love Double Impact.
Okay.
It's so good.
So Double Impact is going on the list of movies that we will talk about on the
At
podcast.
some point.
We got to get there.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, that was one I know I got that like a Blockbuster rental after I'd probably seen a lot of his other movies a million times.
Okay,
But it got
okay.
old enough to did Blockbuster give a shit if you were renting R-rated movies?
No.
They
I
did not
worked
care?
at Blockbuster.
Okay.
No one gave a
I
shit.
can't remember if it was like we would go with people's parents or if we just would walk out with an R-rated movie.
I rented so many kids under the age of 17
Okay.
R-rated movies. No one gave a shit.
You were doing God's work.
I was doing God's work. Yeah.
So as I mentioned, I was a kickboxer guy.
Okay.
I love kickboxer. I still think kickboxer stands up as like a really just pinnacle of like that genre. You killed my brother.
Yeah.
Or you crippled my brother.
Yeah,
now
crippled.
I must
Yeah.
fight you.
Yeah.
But like it was the production value. They're filming in Thailand on these ruins and shit.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Were they on Angkor Wat or something like that?
They went to like some this like World Heritage
It wasn't.
site.
Yeah, it wasn't
It was
Angkor
like
Wat, but it was a World Heritage.
It was kind of like that
site.
shit what they had in the Mortal Kombat movie
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
towers and the shrines and everything like that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, great location.
Bloodsport, of course, awesome. I was a big Universal Soldier guy.
Universal Soldier is a great
It's a
one.
strong
It's
movie.
got Dolph in it too.
Good plot. We need to do that one sometime on the podcast.
Yeah.
This movie I loved. And yeah, the others were sort of like lower tier Van Damme for me. But I did like Time Cop.
Yeah.
I like Sudden Impact.
Yeah.
Or not Sudden Impact, Sudden Death.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Sudden Impact was.
Was that a
Clint
Eastwood?
It was a Clint Eastwood
Was that a
movie.
Dirty Harry movie?
Yeah, Sudden Impact was. It was the fourth Dirty Harry movie because the Deadpool was the fifth one, right?
Yeah.
Or is
Something
there,
like that.
Yeah, it was a third one, and I think there's only four of them, and the Deadpool was the fourth one. I don't remember. I can't. It's been too long. I used to watch all those movies.
I liked those secondary Van Damme movies too, though. I like honestly when I was a kid and Street Fighter came out, as 12-year-old me or 13-year-old me or whatever, fucking loved it. I thought it was great. I hated the Mortal Kombat movie. I loved Street Fighter.
Oh, see, that's so crazy because I loved the Mortal Kombat movie and hated Street Fighter.
I think because I didn't have any pre-programmed Mortal Kombat fandom.
Sure,
I watched it and was like, this is a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And people who probably were Mortal Kombat fans might have loved it, and if you didn't love Street Fighter, you might have been like, well, this is a piece of shit.
I was very much enamored of the excessive violence of Mortal Kombat.
Well,
as a game, it was terrible.
In hindsight, Mortal Kombat was a much better movie and much more faithful, I feel like, to the spirit of the game
I agree.
than the Street Fighter movie was.
Plot continuity notwithstanding, it was far more faithful to the game than Street Fighter. Yeah. And also just the casting wasn't so bizarre. Jean-Claude Van Damme as Guile was just the strangest casting.
A lot of it was strange though. They put was
it Kylie Minogue?
Not Danny Trejo. It was who was the dude who played Sagat? It was the guy who played Magua and it was the Native American actor.
I don't remember.
And I'm like, why him?
Yeah.
Wes Studi.
Wes
Studi
that's
as
right.
Sagat, and it's like, why?
And then Raul Julia as M. Bison.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on. Bad
very
casting.
Strange. Yeah.
They made DJ into a tech guy.
It was so
He's
strange.
He was working IT.
And then the thing,
M. Bison's base.
And this won't mean anything to you, and it probably won't mean much to our listeners. But the fact that they turned Charlie and they combined Charlie and Blanca into one character.
Okay.
And Charlie was a mutation of Blanca.
Charlie was Guile's
mentor.
War buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Or war buddy / mentor.
Okay.
And M. Bison killed Charlie in the Street Fighter Alpha series.
And
this is a whole
They pumped him full of that shit and turned him into Blanca.
That's not how it works.
Wasn't Blanca meant to be a scientist who got
no, Blanca
tainted by his own experiment or something?
In the game, Blanca is a kid named Jimmy who gets lost in the Amazon rainforest.
Was he was a Brazilian kid?
No, just a white kid.
What was he doing and wandering the Brazilian rainforest?
I want to say they were on a mission or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But the reason he's green is because he feeds off of the plant matter and they camouflage. It's really
you
weak.
lost me.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. Blanca's a silly character, but the idea that Charlie turned into Blanca was just so offensive to me when I was a kid watching this because I was very invested.
He essentially just looked like Lou Ferrigno's Hulk.
Right.
It was really bad. It was really bad.
It was so bad. Anyway, that's a whole different podcast.
Yeah, no, and that is available somewhere in the back catalog. Find our Street Fighter podcast.
Oh,
it's
man.
fucking wild. That is just how they botched that so badly.
I regret that I wasn't a part of that episode because I could have brought so much to the table.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
that is neither here nor there, though.
Let me see if I can sum this bad boy up for where we're at.
Yeah, bring us
now.
up to speed here.
All right, drug guys trying to do a drug deal, buy sugar instead of Coke, and it's like, yeah, son, we knew it was sugar. Now light on fire. Lights the guy on fire, runs into a brick wall, falls down, cut to hospital, severely burned. His wife is distraught. Insurance is canceled. Do you have any family? No. Burn guy, Leon. Cut to North Africa. Jean-Claude Van Damme as Leon. He is clearly not there voluntarily. Beats up a bunch of bad guys, escapes, gets on a steamboat, heads to the America, thinks he's going to LA, winds up in New York, tries to call LA when he gets off the boat, can't, discovers a street fight, meets Joshua there, who's surprisingly a fan of his. Joshua takes him to a bigger street fighting competition with a bunch of rich people, kicks asses. We meet Cynthia and Russell there. They want him to fight more. He says no. They get out of a car. They need to call a cab to get to an airport, beat up some more thugs, and then they're heading to the airport on the way to LA in the cab, and there we are.
Holy shit. You just blew my mind, man. Holy shit. That's amazing. That should be an advertisement for Classic City Lager
yes.
by Creature Comforts.
It's only going to get better from here, everybody.
It lubricates the mind.
It does. It's like it's just like so smooth right now. All the wrinkles are gone.
Smooth brain. Holy crap. All right, I am drinking still bourbon, but I'm drinking some James E. Pepper 1776.
Ooh.
Best $30 you'll ever spend in your life. It's tasty. It's deliciously good, cheap bourbon. Yeah, that's what. Okay.
No, I love bourbon that punches above its weight class.
Absolutely, 100 proof.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it's not fucking around.
Beautiful thing. That thus concludes the free advertising portion of the podcast.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll pick it back up with the movie. We're in sunny Los Angeles. There's this weird, jaunty, tropical, like steel drum type music playing.
Is that? My first thought.
Saxophones.
Yeah, of course. My first thought was that this was the opening theme song for an 80s sitcom.
Absolutely.
Like, that's the vibe that it gave me.
This is an episode of Mr. Belvedere?
Yeah. Exactly right. It could have been an episode of Mr. Belvedere.
But Leon has made his way to his brother's hospital. Joshua is waiting outside. And if you thought the outside of that hospital looked with like the long ramp looked familiar, the last time you saw it, Andy, the nurse, was rolling Mason Storm down that ramp on a gurney.
Get out of here.
Because that was the same as old abandoned hospital they used in Hard to Kill.
My God.
I was like, wait, that looks really familiar. And I looked up.
Is awesome.
The Queen of Angels Hospital, like a shut down hospital that turned into just a movie set.
Which was on the outskirts of LA.
Yeah.
There's no way that Leon's brother would have been taken to the hospital at this location, but that's fine. But that is awesome. I love it when we have callbacks to previous episodes.
All these movies are so like incestuously linked together.
I know.
Yeah. But inside we've got a doctor talking to Leon, telling him, your brother passed away last week. And it was a miracle he even lasted that long, which is true facts. Because usually those burn victims, like, you might survive the initial burn, but like you can't recover from that.
No, there's no recovering.
Right? So as a reminder, that was the fucking producer of the movie playing the doctor here. Eric, what the fuck was this fucking name? Eric Carson. Not bad acting.
No, he did good.
Like, I mean, you could have put fucking De Niro in he wouldn't have done a better job playing this one-dimensional character.
Fair. That is fair.
How long do you think it's been since the start of the movie at this point? How long has it happened?
Okay, so we can actually do the math here because when he's talking to the German guy, he said that it's
been a couple weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks, okay.
Until I got this. Right, we figured that he spent a day in the desert.
Yeah.
Crossing the Atlantic on a steamboat had to be a week.
It's got to take a week or two,
right? At least a week, right? Let's be generous and say it's a week.
Okay.
All right. He's in New York for a couple of days, and then let's say that it's at least an 8-hour trip, right?
Yeah.
Not from New York to LA is like a 6-hour trip.
Sure.
Right. So we're almost a month now. This has been almost a month since this has happened.
That maybe adds up.
The fact that he survived 3 weeks with burns like
those
that?
injuries, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now, Leon asked the doctor, did the police catch the guys who did this? And the doctor tries to reason, does it even matter?
Right.
But Leon wants an answer, and the doctor says, well, you know what? As a matter of fact, I think they did arrest the people.
Okay.
Which that's a little bit of a curveball, because like usually in these movies, the plot is like you got to catch the guys who killed your brother.
Like this is going to become a revenge movie. That's what
it's
you
like,
think.
This movie takes a different path.
Right. Exactly.
No, those guys are caught already. Like
we're done with them. Don't worry about them. Yeah.
So now the doctor says, you should be more concerned about Elaine, the widow, and the young daughter, Nicole, who's got this mountain of medical bills or whatever.
Right.
Again, I'll say healthcare in America is fucked. Like, the fact that you could get attacked and set on fire and die, and the byproduct of that is that your family goes bankrupt and is homeless. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Why even? What would happen if
also
you were
totally believable for this country.
What would happen if you were a single human being, a single man with $100 to your name, and you got burned up, and like the hospital is still going to treat you, but if you die, like then what? They're not coming after your family for the money for your bills.
There
right?
actually is like hospital insurance that they pay for, like the hospitals pay for, and because this happens, this actually happens constantly.
They got to give a lot of care to people who can't afford anything.
Right, exactly, and so hospitals have like there's an entire insurance. This is a complete aside. There's an
that's a different podcast. Tell us a little bit. I want to know.
There's an entire like industry that we don't interact with, insurance industry that we don't interact with, which is just insurance companies that insure hospitals or people who don't have insurance.
Wow.
Like, it's totally insane that this is an industry, but it is in fact an industry.
Sort of seems like if we had single payer, all of this could be avoided, but nevertheless, that's a different podcast.
This is a different podcast. We keep branching into all these different podcasts on this episode.
So now outside, Joshua was like trying to pick up on some woman outside the hospital.
Good for him, man. Get some.
He said, "You don't look sick to me, baby." She came on. That was some crazy
fucking
shit.
Horn dog.
She looked very hookerish. Like she probably was in there getting treated for gonorrhea or something. But nevertheless,
just a quick stopover.
Joshua sees this very sad-looking Lyon walking out of there. So he chases after Lyon and is like, "What happened?" Tearful Lyon says, "There's nothing that you can do to help me. You're free to go, like, on your own way, whatever."
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, some pretty bad fake tears, but a decent amount of, like, emoting from Van Damme here. So Lyon then is, like, walking the streets as the sad saxophone music plays.
Of course, you got to have the sad sax.
Joshua's trailing along behind him. I feel like every early Van Damme movie had this sequence where, like, so in Bloodsport, after Jackson got killed, remember he's like going around, the sad soul-searching music is playing.
Oh my god!
You see in Chun-Li like in the fucking reflection on the bus or whatever.
Oh my god, you're right.
Then in Kickboxer, when his brother got paralyzed, he's wandering around the streets of Bangkok. The sad music is playing.
Oh my god, you're right. Holy shit,
that's just like one of the things Van Damme's good at.
Yeah. Oh my god. Maybe it's like in his contract. If I'm going to be in one of your movies, I have to have these moments.
It's the sad, contemplative, like Van Damme wandering sequence. But Lyon stops for what looks like the worst burrito in the city of Los Angeles.
I got to call bullshit on that.
That look good to you?
No. That looked awful. No self-respecting Los Angelino would serve something like that.
For sure.
That was appalling.
You got to look hard to find a bad burrito in Los Angeles.
What is going on? That was I found personally offensive.
That was ridiculous.
As someone who lived in LA for many years, I was appalled by
every bodega, like every food truck is serving up elite burritos.
Literally the only way you get better Mexican food, in my opinion, is San Diego.
San Diego's on point.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about like various Texas cities.
Yeah, that's true. On the border cities, but
you got to look high and low to find a bad burrito in Los Angeles.
Exactly.
And he found the worst. Although when Joshua showed up to pay for it, he's like, "Here's $2. Keep the change." Holy shit!
Well, that was not worth $2.
This is like
even
Taco
in
Bell prices.
Yeah.
Right. So he's like, I owed you for lunch. What do you need? Being a fucking friend.
I know, dude. Like, Lyon does not deserve Joshua. I'm just going to say that.
So Lyon is like, "Well, look, if you got nothing better to do, you can help me find Elaine's address." And he produces that envelope with the letter. And Joshua starts sniffing that motherfucker. And he's like,
goes back.
Yeah. It's like, how? There's no reason that she would have doused the letter in perfume.
No.
She was not his sweetheart.
No, but I don't know what that perfume is, but I want to smell it. I mean, I'm in, man. I am in.
So Joshua is like, "Well, who is it we're even looking for?" Lyon's like, "Don't ask any questions." So now later on, Joshua has led Lyon to this sketchy ass neighborhood. He points to a building that's like got all sorts of bars in the windows and everything like that. There's like a fucking dice game going out on the front stoop or whatever.
Of course.
So Lyon goes inside. Almost immediately, he encounters Nicole in the stairwell. Fucking little Orphan Annie looking ass popping out with little like redheaded curly.
But I want to pause here because the second she shows up, I'm like, I know this chick. I have seen her in things. And then like as we start looking into it, it's like, holy shit. Oh, yeah.
She's a bigger star now.
Right,
like,
I know.
More known in geek culture,
like
at least.
Ashley Johnson, we were looking at her IMDb page. There is not a single year from this movie to today where she doesn't have a credit. She might be the busiest actor in all of Hollywood.
She's like our age, I guess, and she's been working steady for 35 years in Hollywood.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
And she turned into quite an attractive young woman.
Yeah, she's cute as hell, man.
Yeah.
So Lyon asks her, do you know a woman named Elaine who lives here? Nicole says yes, but she's not supposed to talk to strangers. Lyon says, well, you're right about that. Nicole introduces herself and is like, now we're not strangers anymore, right? And Leon's like, I mean, I'm not a stranger anymore when your mom says I'm not a stranger.
Which is a good line. I like
Absolutely.
that line. But also,
the little girl's like just begging to be abducted, I feel like. But, you know.
But also so adorable.
Oh, yeah.
Every single line of dialogue she says in this movie.
She's a little cutie pie.
Just absolutely adorable. Loved her in this movie.
She should have been playing Annie probably off Broadway or something. You know, like she's a killer talent. Like where they found her, she's way too good for this movie.
Don't say that.
The fact that this was like her debut is crazy to me.
Yeah.
But so upstairs we hear this woman arguing with the landlord about some overdue rent. And Nicole is like, I don't think it's a good time to talk to my mom right now. Then the landlord comes storming past, yelling some hateful shit, like about
this is the reason why I can't get your heaters feed.
Fucking deadbeats or whatever. That landlord, that was rough.
Yeah.
Then Lyon has Nicole lead him up there. So they find Elaine in the hallway. She recognizes Lyon, tells Nicole to go inside and play with your toys or whatever. Elaine is mad at Lyon for taking so long to get there. Lyon's like, look, I did the best I could. I put myself in a lot of trouble to get here. Elaine's like, well, it doesn't matter because you're too late, And Lyon's trying again to apologize. I mean, I feel like they're both making solid points.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I'm fucking, I'm a fucking prisoner.
Right.
It's not like it's not like I could just drop everything and come here or whatever. And she's like, yeah, well, it fucking fat load of good it does us now. Like, he's dead.
Fuck you. Yeah, exactly.
All he wanted to do on his deathbed was see you one more time before he died, and like you let him down, Anyway, Elaine doesn't want him coming around here and seeing her or her daughter ever again. The chick, Lisa Pelican or whatever her name was, she was acting her ass off.
Yeah.
I feel like she forgot what movie she was in.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's like, no, this is not, you're not winning anything for this.
Yeah.
Because she was fucking crushing the game.
Yeah, she was doing great.
But so she accuses Lyon of being responsible for getting the brother mixed up in like all this drug dealing or whatever was going on.
Yeah, so this is I want to pause here, right?
Okay.
Because like we're going to talk about this. Is like I told the cops that he was just doing it for me, right?
She's like, you're the reason that he got busted trying to take drugs to whatever country, some shit. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not even true. I just told the cops that to try to keep him from having to go to jail.
Right. I wrote
something.
I wrote an entire paragraph here.
Okay.
So I guess his brother was running drugs.
Sure.
Okay. And then he gets caught. And Lyon, to keep his brother out of trouble, says, no. They're my drugs. He's just a victim in all of this.
Yeah.
I'm actually the big bad.
Right. I think that's what it was.
Right. And then, so because he's not an American, they're like, okay, you can either go rot in a European jail or do time in the French Legion. And so that's why he was there.
I think that's how he wound. That's what I gather is that's how he wound up in the French Foreign Legion, was taking the fall for the brother.
But the brother was also like
a user
who's drinking his own supply.
Yeah.
Right. And so like while he was smuggling them, he started doing the smack. And then that was like the beginning of his fall. Right. Like, so that was the order of events.
I got the impression that the brother was a drug dealer turned drug addict.
Right.
And was out here like I guess ran into the wrong guys and got himself killed.
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. So, but it was like there was a lot going on in like 3 lines.
There
of
was.
dialogue.
They tried to do a lot because she's like accusing him, or whatever, of being responsible for getting the brother started.
Right.
And then he's like, no, that's not how it was. Whatever. I was trying to keep him out of jail because like he couldn't have survived in prison, which is a fucking weird defense to make considering what happened to him.
Yeah.
Like I guess I'd rather get shivved in prison than get burned alive. I don't know.
Right, I know.
Or is one better than the other?
It's 601, I guess.
I guess, right? So Elaine's like, no, the streets, the streets that you left him on is what killed him, which hurts Leon's feelings. Then Leon's like saying, I got nothing more to say to you, and slams the door in his face. And then Leon's like, you guys are the only family that I have left, and I want to help you. He takes that money that he's got and tries to slide it under the door. She opens the door back up and she kicks that money in his face and it's like, we don't want your money. We don't want your help. Like, get out of here or I'm going to call the cops.
Yeah.
It's like, I feel like she should have taken that money based on what we just heard with the landlord.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like,
I'm putting you and your kid out on the street.
Don't be too proud. Like, it's
take
money.
the charity. You can say like, we don't want anything to do with you. I'll take this money. But
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, because you got a kid to think about.
Right. Exactly.
But so outside, Joshua is like eating a bucket of KFC.
Back when KFC was still tasty. In the 90s, KFC was like, I was still rock a KFC.
And we see that the younger of the 2 French MPs walking by,
Yeah.
he's also got a bucket of KFC that he's carrying. This might have been like the product placement for the movie or whatever, but like, I did feel a little weird with the whole, with like Joshua. I'm like, well, we're not like debunking any stereotypes here.
Because the other guy was also eating the KFC, I gave it a pass.
Yeah.
Right.
It must have just been like it's on the corner there or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now Leon pops out the door, just avoiding being seen by the military police guy.
These MPs are so bad. It takes them so fucking long to finally discover him.
So now Joshua can tell that it must not have gone well inside, and then offers him a half-eaten drumstick, like, want some chicken? And puts the thing. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
But Leon's like, no, I don't want that. I need something else. And Joshua's like, you don't even got to say it, man. I'm psychic.
It was great.
He's a good friend.
What a great line, too.
That's right. Let's get you fucking drunk, buddy.
Because I was like, they're either going to cut to a dive bar or cut to a strip club.
A titty bar,
Yeah, exactly. Those are your only 2 options, right? Yeah.
So, cuts to the dive bar. Joshua's being a good friend, like getting his friend fucking hammered.
That's right.
Leon's explaining that he's AWOL from the French Foreign Legion. And Joshua's like suggesting, well, what do you want? Do you want to go dancing? Do you want to go find some girls? Like, what's up? Joshua, I feel like Joshua got real fucking horny as soon as he got to Los Angeles.
Yeah, dude. Well, there's a lot of pretty ladies.
No, that's
in Los
the thing,
Angeles.
man. Women in LA are fucking nuts, man. Like, you lived there, right?
Yeah.
Is that like the hottest women per capita that everywhere in Los Angeles?
Easy, yes.
For me, I'm like, yeah, Los Angeles is crazy. And I'll tell you, the airport in Minneapolis probably had the hottest women I've ever, just a bunch of 6-foot blonde chicks walking around.
Because it's like a bunch of Scandinavian
It's a
people.
bunch of like Viking stock. Walking around like these tall blondes and like skimpy little leggings and tank tops or whatever. It's fucking
I'll believe
crazy.
that. I believe that. Yeah.
Check out the airport in Minneapolis.
Also, the airport in Minneapolis is pretty fucking cool. Like the whole thing is underground. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So now Leon is saying, we got to figure out a way to help Elaine and Nicole. Joshua's like offering to help as they're throwing back more shots. And then Joshua said some crazy shit. He said like, up jumped the devil with his blind children as like an exclamation after taking a shot, which is fucking I have no idea what that means.
No, that was
I
so
Googled
weird.
that. The only result was, why did this character in Lionheart say this thing? So yeah, there's that. So Joshua was like, well, hey, look, I'm going to go make a phone call. Find us a place to stay tonight. Did you notice through this whole scene that there's the extra behind Van Damme that was just staring at him?
Staring at him the whole time.
Scene.
It's all I could look at in this scene is her out of focus face, just eye fucking the fuck out of
So
JCVD.
when Joshua left, Leon looked over at her and she like winked at him.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like she was like maybe hoping to take him home or something. I don't know.
No idea.
But that was, I teased this earlier. that bitch looked just like Large Marge.
Oh,
from
shit.
Pee-wee's Big Adventure, to the point that I was like, that is Large Marge.
Yeah.
And I Googled it, and then it seemed like the actress who played Large Marge died like before this movie started filming.
All right.
And I'm like, well, I guess it wasn't her unless it was like her ghost or whatever. But I'm like, this bitch looked just like Large Marge. I was like convinced that it has to be her.
I love the idea that like when they shot the scene, they had no idea she was there because she was a ghost.
Yeah.
And then in editing, they're like, did we cast an extra to sit next to JCVD?
Absolutely.
I mean, I guess so because she's there, right? Like you know.
Later on, Joshua is like practically carrying drunk Lyon out of the place.
Which is insane because he's pure muscle. He's going to metabolize that shit so fast.
Maybe, but he probably hasn't had a drink in years.
Well, okay,
I don't know if he's
fair.
allowed to drink when he's in the French Foreign Legion.
I feel like they got to sneak booze there.
I feel like that's why you would take that over prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Is because you probably are allowed to just like be one of the guys.
And you don't have to drink toilet wine.
Yeah. So Joshua shoves him into this limousine that is now parked outside the bar. And for whatever reason, everyone is acting like they've never seen a limousine before in their life.
I know.
In Los
What
Angeles.
is this strange car. Yeah.
Like the fucking waitress had come out onto the corner with a tray of drinks, like just to look at the limo.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're driving now through the nice part of town. Lyon is asking, where are we going? And Joshua's like, we're going to go stay with a friend of mine, and points to this like high rise. And it's like, that's her place right there. And there's literally only one person it could possibly be.
Exactly who it is.
Yeah. The building apparently is pretty famous place on Sunset Boulevard. It was like on the National Register of Historic Places. It's like a high-end hotel now or something. But Joshua escorts Lyon into this spacious room, says that, you know, my friend only stays here when she's in town for business. So, you know, this is all you. I'm going to stay at her other penthouse that's across the hall or whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like the place was like tacky as hell, but I feel like it was like peak 90s, like chic.
Yeah.
So Joshua then says, it's nice to have a friend, ain't it? And I'm like, huh. I feel like there was a lot going on with that delivery.
Yeah.
Like there was a certain sadness.
Yeah.
Where like, I feel like Joshua hasn't had a friend in a long time. And he's like, you know, it's nice to have a friend, like someone looking out for you, isn't it? Because I haven't had that in forever, right? I don't know. But you don't have too much time to think about that because Lyon starts studying this absolutely bizarre painting on the wall. What the fuck was that?
Disappointingly, the only nudity we get in the movie.
It was the single strangest moment in this movie.
Lady bent over.
She's butt naked in high heels.
Yeah.
And she's bent over like putting makeup on a man's face.
Who seems drunkenly almost passed out at the foot of a bed.
Uh-huh. And there's like baby doll heads lying around
everywhere. It was
if I'm not sleeping in the same room as that painting.
Oh my God, that's terrifying. Yeah.
But Lyon lies down on the bed and just passes right out. I feel like it's been a long ass day because I feel like they were literally in New York this morning.
Yeah.
Right? They flew out to LA.
Yeah.
He went to the hospital. He went to the apartment.
Yeah.
He went to the bar and got hammered. He's been up for 24 hours straight or some shit. It's fucking crazy to me. Now, I feel like there was some version of this movie where, like, in an alternate reality, Joshua and Lyon are, like, tramping their way across America on a train.
That would have been a movie.
You know, like, they're hopping rail cars and shit like that.
There's literally a scene where they get into a box.
Fist fighting their way on, like, a moving train.
Yeah.
And so if that would have been the Street Fighter version, they would have been riding a train across America. We got enough fight in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
We got enough fight in Kansas City. Now, you know, we got enough fight in Reno.
I mean, it would be perfect too. Like, this fight is in a cornfield. This fight, you know what I'm saying? Like, this fight is at the foot of
that arch, whatever, the St. Louis Arch.
Yeah, the St. Louis Arch.
Absolutely.
This is at the foot of Mount Rushmore, right?
We're on a boat on the Mississippi River or something. On a
that's exactly
barge.
right. This is literally on the airfield of a military base.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah,
man.
totally. That's what that movie would be.
I feel like, you know, because that was like the epic quest nature that they set up on the steamship. I feel like now he's got to be on the train. Whatever. But anyway, Cut to next morning. Leon wakes up. He finds himself in bed naked with Cynthia working out like in the little adjacent room.
Which was such a weird play.
That bitch got here in a hurry.
Yeah, she did. Well, when she found out that fucking Leon was in L.A., she's on her
we're
way.
at your place.
Hell yeah.
But what is her livelihood?
Is it just these fights?
That's
like,
what
did
I'm
she
saying.
made all of her money on these fights?
Fights her entire career, or does she have some sort of other shit going on?
I don't know, man.
Because she just has picked herself up and relocated to the West Coast indefinitely at this point.
Yeah. She's there for the rest of the movie, and she has no obligations to the East Coast.
Yeah. I feel like all she's got going is these fights is as far as we know.
Right.
But yeah, she finishes working out on her Bowflex or whatever the fuck she's got there. She comes in and she asks if Leon likes the room. He's like, yeah, but I gotta go. But he's trapped there naked under the sheets.
Right.
And she like sprawls out seductively on the bed. And she's like, when I came in, you were like passed out. I took your clothes and I asked them to be burned.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And are we to believe like she stripped him down?
That's the way I interpreted it.
Without him waking up?
Yeah. So if I were him, I'm like, well, you've already seen everything I got to offer. So
can we talk about the fact there's no reason for him not to dick her down?
Right, exactly. Like
she's hot.
Just get it done, man. Like go
she's
for
hot.
it. Yeah.
You've been in jail for however the fuck long. You've been busting rocks in the hot sun, man.
Absolutely, dude. Like bust some rocks in the fucking penthouse apartment. Shit.
So she fetches him a robe and is like, there's shops down the street. We can find you some new clothes. Leon, like, he covers up with the robe, then walks out of the room and then drops the robe and gives like a long look at his ass.
A little bit of JCVD ass. Never hurt
that
anybody.
dude loves showing his ass, man.
Oh my God. I've seen more JCVD ass. It's ridiculous.
So Leon says, I just want my clothes back. And she says, oh, no, I'm taking you shopping, even if I got to take you kicking and screaming or whatever. And he's like, why are you so nice to me? And then cut to, we got the Pretty Woman style montage.
My God, with those horrible suits.
There was this bizarrely bad song playing. It was kind of like in excess sounding shit. I looked high and low for like, what is this song? And I could not find it.
Was it not even in the credits?
It wasn't. I got to study the credits again.
Okay.
It had to be.
I mean, you got to credit it, right? I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
But there was no, I couldn't tell what the name of this song would have been. I don't know.
It's too the suits are too distracting for more than anything else.
Right, because we got this stylist and he's got Leon trying on a million different suits. And the painting, I feel like now is suddenly making sense. Like, I guess this is her thing.
Yeah.
It's like she likes to take a man and possess him and dress him up and like whatever. He's a plaything for her.
That makes sense.
Shit.
That makes sense.
So now we're in the fitting room where Cynthia's trying unsuccessfully to seduce him. Like she's like groping him or something.
Dude, what was with those tidy whities that he was? I mean,
the banana hammock?
Oh my God. They were really hammocking that banana. There's no question about it.
But it's like, dude, fucking nail her.
Yeah, just get it done.
There's no reason not to.
Right, exactly.
You've been fucking hammering stakes into the fucking ground. Like, you're telling me you're not going to smash at the first opportunity?
You think she wants to marry you, dude? She doesn't want to fucking marry you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not beholden to her. You can fuck her and then be like, yeah, I'm still not fighting.
Right,
like,
exactly. Right, I know.
She doesn't own you.
There's no contract here.
No, like, knock that out, dude.
Maybe he just really doesn't like short hair.
I guess
it's just like, I'm sorry. This is a deal breaker for me.
Like, so later on in the day, they're having dinner up on the rooftop or something. She's like holding his hands and all that shit.
Oh my God.
So Cynthia is telling Leon, there's still a lot of buzz about your fight in New York. And he's like, well, let them talk.
Mm-hmm.
So now later on, she tries to bring Leon back to her room. And he's like, no, I'm going to stay next door with Joshua. And she implies again, like maybe you're gay.
Like, how could you turn
you got something
down?
going on with Joshua? Yeah. And he's like, I'm not your toy to play with. If you want to play with a toy, go play with Russell.
Fucking play with me. I don't give a shit. Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. This is the last time I'm going to like harp on it. But she's clearly got an agenda that she wants you to fight, right? So she can make money off you. No question.
Right.
That is not a reason not to have some sex, my guy.
No, I know.
Fucking nail her and then do what you want to do.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I think he has the hots for Elaine.
Ooh.
I think
hot take. Okay,
yeah, I mean,
controversial.
I will dig in on this a little bit as we get farther into the movie.
I do feel like they must have made two versions because there is a little bit of like.
There's some textual.
It's hard to tell if there's sexual tension.
Yeah.
And he's being flirty with his brother's widow immediately.
But like, what are you, fucking Hunter Biden? Come on, man! Like, keep it in your pants. Like, take it to Cynthia. Like, come on.
That's like, if nothing else, you gotta like. Get your mojo back.
Yeah,
like, fuck this girl.
Yeah,
fuck this woman. She's like dying to crawl all over you. And Cynthia's fucking crazy.
Oh yeah,
like the sex is going to be out of this world.
It's going to be bonkers, right? Yeah. Like I can't even imagine what she's got in her closet.
She's insane.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we're going to move along. We're going to turn the page. Okay. It's the next day. Elaine is walking Nicole out of their tenement building.
Yeah.
We see that the French MPs have the place staked out, and this was like this epic crane shot.
Right.
Like the production value is like an ambitious shot for a movie like this.
It goes up and they follow her all the way across the street.
It's like raising up to the second or third floor of this other building across the street. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But so Elaine is walking Nicole to school. So as they approach, we see Lyon is like hiding behind a tree and watching.
Yeah.
He's out there looking like a fucking police sketch of a pedophile.
Dude, and like, did you notice... Again, going back to this message of the problems with America, there's these cops arresting a bunch of dudes. Like, he's hiding behind the tree.
Yeah.
The cops are arresting a bunch of criminals as she's walking her daughter into the school across the street. Like, that was the most, like, this has got to be intentional.
No, absolutely. I feel like we get it. Like, he's supposed to see that this is an unsafe neighborhood.
Right, exactly.
Right? But I feel like it was heavy-handed and kind of like needlessly racist. It was like
I know,
a bunch of like
cops.
a bunch of like Latinx dudes being arrested or whatever. It's like, okay. Meanwhile, you got like this dude in the hood peeking behind a tree, like watching the children. It's like this guy seems like,
hey Bob, there's a guy in a hoodie peeping at children behind the tree.
Like, it looks like every fucking pedophile we've ever seen.
Like, well, is he white? Yeah. Okay. I don't really care.
It's like not a threat. Then we got Elaine is at her job sorting apples. And Lyon is there too, fucking creeping on her.
I know, just following her everywhere.
But it's like, is this your one and only job? Is sorting apples?
I wrote that note now.
This is weird.
Apparently, her job is sorting apples, and and there's nothing but Latino men everywhere. And there's like this redheaded fucking
like the whitest woman on
earth.
So you just stepped off the boat from Ireland or whatever.
Oh my God, exactly.
Yeah, it was weird.
It's like, well, I usually sort potatoes, but I guess like, tomatoes will do.
I know you could be being a waitress or something to make more money.
Yeah, absolutely.
But maybe this is like a second or third job or something.
Maybe it is.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because honestly, like, so you got to step your game up. If this is your only job,
right? Hopefully, this isn't.
Your drug dealer husband's dead, lady. Come on. But no, then later on, Leona's like encounters this homeless woman and her child and gives them some money. Mm-hmm. And like, we get it. This is like, we're seeing like, this is what could become of Elaine and Nicole if he doesn't help them.
Yeah.
So the homeless little girl had on the credits, the last name was Lettich, the same as the director. So I'm like, this has got to be the director's daughter or some shit like that. Yeah. Now, later on, Lyon knocks at Cynthia's door. And she opens up and he's like, I'll do it. And she seems like she like grabbed his cock or something that.
Right.
And he like pulls away and he's like, I'm going to fight again. It's like, Cynthia's got to be the single horniest woman we've ever seen on the podcast.
When he opens the door and says, I'll do it, I remember her saying, well, finally. I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm on your side.
Bitch, this, you can get laid anytime you want, but I guess Van Dammes don't grow on trees.
That's fair.
Anyway,
in Belgium they do.
Yeah, right. So he says, but look, I need a few things. I want my money to be put into some dummy bank account with a different name. And she's like, yeah, okay, I'll get that set up with my accountant in the morning. I guess whatever the fuck this woman is involved in, it's all shady as hell. Because, like, a little bank fraud doesn't concern her at all.
Just it doesn't even bat.
So, we'll set up a fake account for you. Like, that's cool. My accountant does that every day. Come on.
I set up 3 fake accounts just this morning, actually.
And then Lyon is like, okay, and I need a different place to live. I can't stay here. And that seemed to hurt Cynthia's feelings.
I know, right?
And it's like, rich evil bitches have feelings too, I guess. I don't know. But she's like, why are you making these demands? And he's like, says, look, if I'm going to fight for you, I need to live like a fighter. I can't be living in the luxury penthouse or whatever.
Gonna get soft.
So now sometime later, we see luxury cars. They're pulling into this warehouse and parking in this circle, and Lyon is in the center of this with all the headlights shining.
Dude, this is where it gets really Street Fighter-y because because all the people taking bets are on roller skates, skating
this was
around.
Some wild shit.
The guys ushering the cars in have literal plane guidance beacons.
Yeah, it was like this usher sort of flashlight thing.
Exactly. They all drive around
crazy.
in a perfect circle around them. This was the crazy fucking shit.
Theatrical.
It was so theatrical.
It was the dudes on roller skates. That was some surreal shit.
That was fucking weird, man.
It made it memorable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I will never forget that.
I imagine they were looking for people to work this fight, and they're like, "Okay, you're good at taking bets. How are you on roller skates?" It's a prerequisite.
Yeah.
You're gonna be on skates for this gig.
I mean, it was this. The scene just kept getting weirder and weirder because when it opens, the garage door opens, and then you see these guys flagging cars in their airport planes. And then the car drives in, and you see one guy go by on roller skates. You're like, what the fuck was that? And then another guy goes by on roller skates. You're like, what is going on here?
At some point, there was four people on roller skates in the frame at the same time.
I know, exactly. And then they start rolling up to the windows of cars like they're taking an order at a fast food joint.
It was nuts.
It was what is this, American Graffiti? What the fuck is going on right now?
Now we got Lyon. He's in the center of this ring. He's acquired new tattered clothes to wear.
Right, exactly.
He's got jeans that are full of holes and a denim shirt, high-waisted jeans again.
He loves those high-waisted jeans, man.
Above the belly button.
Way above the belly button.
Yeah. A final car pulls in, and this dude in full Scottish regalia steps out. Is very Street Fighter-ish.
Very Street Fighter.
Joshua is very confused. And as if any part of this was normal before this. Right. It was all totally normal before this. What the fuck is this? The guy's wearing a dress.
What is going on?
He's and he's that's Scotland. He's like, Scotland shit. And he's like, pull his dress. I want to see if he's got any draws on it. Whatever.
He definitely doesn't if he's really Scottish.
No. So the Scotsman, he strips down to just his kilt, and him and Lyon approach each other. The Scotsman extends his hand hey, let's shake hands. And then he thumbs Lyon in the eye. Classic pro wrestling move. So the guy starts beating up on Lyon a little bit. If this dude is fighting you in fucking knee socks and dress shoes, and he's giving you a run for your money, I feel like you're not all that good of a fighter.
No.
But Lyon recovers from the initial little beatdown he's getting. They fight on kind of evenly for a little bit. Lyon is getting some good kicks in. Then the Scotsman just scoops Lyon up and throws him through a car's windshield.
Right, which is obviously, why would you park your cars in a circle like this?
The car owners were freaking out.
Yeah, how dare you?
What are you doing to my car?
What the fuck, dude? What would you think was going to happen?
As if no one could anticipate this might happen.
Right, yeah.
Cynthia seems a little worried, and Russell seems happy for some reason.
Again,
Russell's a fucking enigma.
He is.
So the Scotsman, then he snaps the antenna off another car and starts choking Lyon with it, which is not a very efficient or effective move, to be honest.
No.
But Lyon breaks free. He headbutts the dude. Then they both climb up on the hood of cars and they're exchanging blows or whatever. It does not seem like a strategically wise move for either fighter.
No.
But it looked awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
And I love that they're both wearing down too. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
they got tired quick.
They got tired. Yeah,
which is realistic.
Which is realistic, right?
If you were fighting for your life for 30 seconds, you would be exhausted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But Lyon kicks the dude in the face, knocks him down on the pavement. Then they trade a few more punches. Lyon I guess seems to knock the guy silly. Then is holding him up, and taunting the guy's handlers.
I know.
For some reason, it was a strange move. They never really make it clear, but I feel like it's sort of Lyon sort of snaps when he gets in a fight, the way he was manhandling Lawrence Bender earlier. Was do you get in the fight and you sort of lose your fucking mind or something? Because it's weird the way he's taunting the guy's handlers.
Yeah.
Look what I did to this guy. I just don't know why there'd be any animosity towards this handlers.
Fucking bloodlust.
I don't know, yeah. But so Cynthia's very happy with this. Russell seems disappointed, which is strange because presumably he would lose money if Lyon lost.
Right. I mean,
so I don't know why he's not happy, except that is he like in love with Cynthia?
I mean, he wants Lyon to be beat because
Cynthia loves Lyon.
I mean, I feel like he is totally cucked, right? Like she has been promising to fuck him for years.
You think she's been like dangling that
in front of him? Yeah. He might have even like sat in a cuck chair in a hotel and watched her fuck a different guy.
Different fighter. Sonny, the guy from
Sonny
earlier?
the guy, right, exactly. Like this is how desperate he is. Right?
So I feel like that's almost the only thing that could even make sense is that he's got some sort of infatuation with Cynthia that's unrequited.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because, it's bad for business if Lyon loses.
Right, exactly.
So the fact that he doesn't want to see, I think it's because she's taking a shine to Lyon.
Right. Well, I mean, more than a shine.
Yeah, she's she's the horniest woman on earth.
She wants the D real bad.
But fuck it. We've got some fighting in the flick. I feel like momentum is picking up on the story
and
here a little bit.
This is the first time Lyon's actually been challenged.
That was a pretty cool little fight.
It was a good little fight.
And very cinematic with the, but it felt like a fucking video game.
Yeah, it 100% did.
Yeah.
And this is only the first of the video game like fights.
I feel like right after this, Lyon went and like beat up the car, like smashed the car to pieces. Because like the little bonus level.
100%.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Well, we'll leave it there, but we'll be back next week. We'll be even drunker.
Even better.
Yeah, so it's going to be lit. Thanks for listening, everyone out there. And
we'll be back.
We'll be back.